What's your thoughts on government cover-ups or covert societies attempting to control humanity? Do you believe in ancient astronauts, intergalactic communication, or extraterrestrial visitations? Ever had an experience with disembodied spirits or the paranormal universe? Are these subjects fact or fiction? Each week, Tony and Eddie explore these unbelievable realities and beyond. Exclusively on Truth Be Told.
Welcome to Truth Be Told, where we believe an experience becomes truth. I'm your host, Tony Sweet, and along with me now, world-renowned psychic, Eddie Connor.
Hey, everyone.
And famed astrologer, Rachel Lang.
Hi.
Thank you for supporting our sponsors, Earth Friendly Products. For over 40 years, Earth Friendly Products have brought you the greenest home products for all your family needs. Go to ecos.com, that's ecos.com.
And take your mind on a literary journey by traveling over to adventuresunlimitedpress.com to purchase books from many of our famed experts featured on our show.
Here on Truth Be Told, we love to talk about the paranormal. In fact, para is normal around here.
It sure is. And to help us delve deeper into the unknown world of the paranormal, we have the planet's best psychic medium with us today, the one and only Lisa Williams.
Yes, that's true. And Eddie and I had the opportunity to visit Lisa Williams' Master Medium Workshop to learn new ways to harness our intuition. I just went to observe the class, but ended up learning a lot about my own psychic gifts. And did you know that everyone has the ability to communicate to the other side? Well, I didn't. And so until I attended Lisa's masterclass, she shares hard work and patience can pay off in developing your gifts.
As an intuitive myself, I have admired Lisa for her charismatic teachings and for helping others feel more confident in harnessing their own innate powers.
And here to help us bridge the gap between this world and the next, please welcome internationally acclaimed psychic medium, author, speaker, and world-renowned teacher, the amazing Lisa Williams.
Lisa Williams, yes!
Oh my gosh, what an introduction. Hi, guys.
Hi.
We took 2 or 3 weeks just to get that done. No, just kidding.
Oh, I'm so impressed. You did your homework. It's awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And now we went to your house. Now you're in our house, and we're excited to invite you in and go over many things that I know a lot of people have questions about. And that's the art of mediumship. And we a few weeks ago, or about a month ago, we had Colby, that is now a master teacher for
That's right.
on the show, and she did a great job. And Rachel was here with us, and we had a great conversation about this. And so we want to get started on where Lisa Williams got her start in mediumship. When did you really realize that you had this gift?
Well, honestly, when you're 4 years old, you think everybody sees dead people, don't you? You think it's kind of normal that happens. You wake up, oh, hi, there's a dead person. But you realize you're a little bit cuckoo and a bit crazy. And
Right.
It's not something that everybody does. I grew up in a very skeptical family. My father is a complete atheist and really has no belief in this world until he followed me around Australia. And it was in that period of time that he had no choice but to look and go, there's got to be something in this, Lisa. And so really when I was 4 years old, I had no support network. So that's when I kind of understood, or I realized what I was doing. I knew things that I shouldn't have known. I knew when the kid at school was not going to come into school because he'd broken his arm. And lo and behold, he didn't come into school, but the following day he had a cast on his arm. And so I don't think I understood what it was until really when I was much older. And I think I'd left home at that point. I was about 18, when my own grandmother, who was also a psychic medium, sat me down and she insisted that she read for a friend of mine. And it was in that period of time that she read for a friend of mine that I ended up thinking there's something else to this. And the following week, she sat me down and she gave me a reading. And that's when she actually said, you've got the gift, you're going to follow my footsteps, blah, blah, blah. And I thought nothing of it. I've been to see readers because, I wanted to know if the boy I was dating was going to be the one, the whole, you know what it's like. And so that's really how it all started. I had no understanding of it really until probably I was much older, but I'd had it all my life.
Lisa, do you find that a lot of people who do what you do as a psychic medium, they also are very good and have overdeveloped muscles in other creative and artistic things too, like design? Like I noticed, the first thing I ever noticed about you, my mom did too. She's like, I love her hair.
Okay, I got to tell you this thing about my hair, right? I never forget being on the Today Show. And Matt Lauer, bless his little cottons, actually said to me, he said, so what is it with the hair? What is it with this blonde spot on the top? Does it just tune in the spirits? But yeah, my hair is kind of in my trademark. Yeah. And as you know now, I've got a big pink streak in it as well. So it's kind of been something that has been important for me. But you know what, you're right. I think to have a creative streak is really, really important. And my creativity came from my music. I was a singer. I played the piano, played the flute, played the violin, played the guitar, you name it, any instrument I can pick up and play. And so that's where it came from. And I'm also a creative writer. So, I always wanted to write creatively, not as in the books that I've written, but more fiction. And also my family are crazy, crazy artists. I mean, Charlie is like ridiculous artist. It's unbelievable. So the creative streak, absolutely, because it's a side of the brain that what we do is we challenge, we grow, we build on, like it's a muscle. And that's the side of the brain, it's the right side of the brain that we actually connect to spirit with, and we use to enhance our intuition.
Well, I find too that a lot of intuitive people have a really great sense of humor. And I find that you have an incredible sense of humor. And I can't remember the name of your car when you were a teenager.
Oh, God, I can't believe you're bringing that up. Oh, my gosh. Yes, Chloe the Flying Turd. It was Brown Mini. I'm sorry. I can't believe
Chloe
the Flying Turd, yeah.
Was it a brown car?
It was a Brown Mini, yeah.
That's
That's
hilarious.
so great. I love it.
Oh, my gosh. Really? You guys have done your research, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
Well, what's fascinating is when I went to the class and we finally really got to sit down and watch you, in the corner and just speak and do your thing. You're very interactive with everybody around you. You can see that you love people, but yet you can see you there's a no nonsense about you in a way. You have, and I love that about you because you're just real. And where a lot of people, they try to do this. What did we talk about before?
We talked about that spiritual voice, the voice that, yes.
Oh, I wear tie-dye and I have big hoop earrings. And I have angel wings on my back. No, I'm sorry. You know what? You know how, okay, so I just tell you how I open my class. Okay. I actually open my class, and I can't say it live on air because it's you'll probably get shut down for it. But I actually open all my classes and I say, is anybody easily offended here? And they look at me like I'm completely confused, and I go, okay, great, and I drop the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they all look at me in horror, and I go, look, I've got it out the way. You will hear me say it, so just get over it. And the thing is everybody else will be saying it because they'll be going, oh my God, I can't believe she's making us do that. And of course it will come out their mouth. But I want people to know how real I am, because there are times that I will say it. There are times that I will say something else. And the thing is, spirituality is part of our world, whether we want to be that spiritual guru with that wispy voice, or whether we just want to be real, normal, and down to earth. And I think that's the one thing that people say about me, is they actually say, you know what, you're really down to earth and normal, and we just want to hang out with you. So from my point of view, I think it's very important to keep spirituality and to keep this sort of work very, very normal, because it is in my world.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that helps you in relating to spirits and to beings on the other side?
Oh, totally. Because you know what, they were real people at once. You know, there's still a soul, and you know, it's really about the connection that we have to that person. And you know what, I always say, you know, a medium has to be adaptable to any situation. They have to have knowledge on a great deal of information, of topics, because if that spirit wants to come through and communicate with you, you know, and all he ever talked about was fishing, you know, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I don't know anything about fishing. But they pull upon my knowledge that I do know. So I'll like, for instance, today it actually happened. I don't know a damn thing about fishing, okay? My mum used to fish. I've never fished, but I know enough to know that I didn't like the maggots that were in the fridge. I didn't like hooking a line. It was like, ugh. And fish, I'm like, they're slimy, you know, okay? So I'm seeing it, and the guy is laughing about the fact that he used to hold handfuls of maggots and he used to crawl up his hands, and I'm like, so of course I told a story about that, but it was a very, very interesting. It was kind of it was kind of interesting how I told this story, and they loved it, you know, but it was very poignant. So it wasn't as if it was as if I was actually connecting to, well, I was connecting to him, but he was pulling upon my memories that I could tell him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you share that kind of thing, when the audience is hearing it right now on Tony's show, they're hearing it, and it is concrete proof. It's evidence of the other side. But to the loved ones that are hearing that about their loved one who was obsessed with fishing, that's when they really start to believe in life after life, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if I can give concrete evidence about something that's happened, you know, that's when people go, oh my God, how did you know about that? And it's like favorite songs, you know, because I'm a singer, I can pull up on songs. And it's like when I'll start, you know, I never forget, I was there. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I was in Nashville.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
right.
We were just talking about Nashville just before the show.
I know.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a reason why I mention this. I don't ask me why I bring up my stories, but I'm going to bring it up. So I'm in this theater, you know, and I don't really know a lot about Johnny Cash, and you know, he's kind of out of my era and everything else. So I'm there, and I start speaking to this woman called Kathy, and I'm chatting away, and I said, your dad's singing and blah blah blah, and I'm like, he's coming through, he's on this stage for some reason. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's John. And I went, do you know who Johnny would relate to? And she went, it's my dad. And it was Kathy Cash.
Oh my Lord.
Johnny Cash.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, oh my God.
Wow.
That's
but
incredible.
the thing was, what was interesting is the whole audience obviously knew who she was. I had no idea, being the English girl that I am, and a bit naive. But it was just, you know, if you put Stella McCartney in front of me, then I'd be like, oh, I've got your mum Linda here. But it's like, you know, or Yoko Ono, or oh, hey, John's here. But it's like, it's not in my consciousness. So it was just interesting.
Well, and speaking of John and Johnny, years and years ago, I was going through an autograph line because I'm a fan. And I was with a whole bunch of people, and out of nowhere, you looked at me and you said, there's a grandfather figure behind you named John or Johnny. Do you know who this is? And I was like, I don't actually, because I don't know my dad's relatives. Mom and he broke up whenever I was like 4 years old or something. And long story short, I went back to my mom and I was like, Mom, do you know anybody named John or Johnny? She's like, that's your grandpa, Eddie. Oh, no! And I was like, I have to remember to tell you one day when the time is right. And I just now remembered it. But yeah, he was there. And I was like, I don't know, Lisa. I don't see nobody named Johnny.
Oh my God, that's so funny. It's funny what people remember. You know what? I used to have it in the supermarket when I lived in England. You know, people would go, do you remember me? And I'm thinking, no. I used to see like 20 clients a week. Oh. So they would come running up, and, you know, I'm getting my leeks, or I'm getting my vegetables. And this is true story. They'd run up and go, oh my God, Lisa. I'm like, hi. And they go, maybe you don't remember me, but you remember, you said this, and I'm like, okay, calm down. And then suddenly they start bringing up all of these things that I told them, and I don't remember. Because when I'm in that witchy woo zone, as I say,
Witchy.
I could be telling you
That's descriptive.
anything,
Yeah.
and I have no idea.
Yeah.
And so, it's like I read for a student of mine, Anthony Morocco, who is a phenomenal student, and he posted on Instagram, Lisa Williams was right again. Oh my God. Da, da, da. And he tagged me, and I went, what was I right about?
You're like, remind me.
It's so funny. So it does happen. It's like it comes in and out of my head, and I just don't even focus on it.
Can I ask you a crazy question?
They're never crazy questions for me. So
okay.
yes, you can ask anything.
Would you ever consider having a studio, whether it's for television or for movie theaters, do the story of your life and literally turn it into a movie?
You know what? I would.
Cool.
And it's funny because a lot of people have actually asked me about that. And I don't know whether you ever watched the Disney show Paranormal. But Paranormal, which is a Disney movie, is so ridiculously close to my life, even down to the hair of the character. So I'm sure they built that around me. It was funny, but yeah, I would, and I think it would be absolutely funny. We actually did speak about doing a sitcom, and it's a classic. I'm going to say it, okay? And if someone does it, then please, give me some credit. But about dating a psychic.
Yeah.
I mean, because quite honestly, dating a psychic can have its moments. And we actually talked about it a couple of years ago. I was newly single, the whole thing, and it was like, that's what they wanted to do. And I thought, so that could be quite an interesting thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm open to anything.
Wow.
Speaking of dating a psychic, how does that work for you when you're in a relationship? Do you usually know, like when something's gonna work out?
Like when somebody's gonna cheat? Yeah.
Like, you better not.
Dating a psychic. Okay, let me give you some tips on how to date a psychic. In fact, I should probably just go and get the advice right now from the horse's mouth. But actually, the secret here is actually, as a psychic, is not to read the person that you're dating, not to read into the situation, not to feel it, which is so against what we do. It's actually, you have your emotions, certainly as a girl, you have these emotions, but you can't think into it. You can't emotionally read into it, because the problem is then you completely screw yourself up, and it's, you get twisted. And that's what I've done, is I've made a pact not to actually read anybody I'm involved with, and just be honest. And it's an interesting journey. I will tell you that. Certainly, if you get someone who's a skeptic, that can be interesting. But all you ask for is someone to support you. But then the other side of it is, if you get someone who, and it happened to me, who was an absolute fan of yours, and I didn't realize that they were a fan of mine until I started to date. And I'm like, and it was like, and you know what? It was ridiculous, because I remember seeing the text message to their friend go, oh my God, I'm in bed with Lisa Williams.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a little bit creepy. And yet we've been dating for a while, but I think that moment had suddenly hit them, and it was like, and that freaked me out. Quite honestly, I don't date anybody now who knows who I am and stuff. So yeah. That's kind of weird.
It is. But, and, and all of us in this room, and obviously you, Lisa, we all have really famous friends. And I have heard this from every single famous friend that I have, where they hold you in a place where they know you as that. And Janet Jackson's got a great song about this on her Demita Joe album. She's like, do you think I'm that girl that you see on TV, or that girl that you hear in the music, and it's just one of those things. You have to sort of like traverse your way through it. But
you do.
I want to ask this too, is when you are in a relationship, maybe when you were younger, because I know you're only 32 now.
I love you. 32. Oh my God, I love you.
When you were younger, did you catch yourself as an empath, I'm sure, and a sensitive person, sometimes picking up their energy innocently and confusing it with yours when you were younger?
And I still do it. I still do it.
I do too.
Great question.
In fact, it happened literally either yesterday or the day before. I was feeling like something was off. Something was totally off. And I'm thinking, why am I feeling like this? What's going on in my head? And then I had a phone call from the guy I'm dating, and it was like, oh, now I get it, and it was kind of interesting the way that it came about. So I don't think that, not that I was intentionally thinking about them, but it was more a case of, why am I feeling the way I am? And, I hadn't even spoken to them. I hadn't even texted them. It was not even, they weren't even in my realm. But suddenly, and it was funny because I was having the conversation with Charlie, and suddenly I was thinking, why do I feel like this? And it was just, and then, and I was like, oh, now I get it. And I was fine after that. So you naturally do. And I think when you've got that connection with someone, and I don't think you have to be psychic to do this. No. I think and it's funny because this is what I'm actually going to be talking about. I'm relaunching my site, and I'm doing a lot of stuff on relationships, on love, on communication.
Oh, nice.
Great.
And I think what happens is when two people are naturally connected, there's always more in a relationship. There's always more someone who is more action orientated, or there's someone who's more emotional. Whether that be a man and a woman, two men, two women, okay, it doesn't matter. There naturally is. And the action person is never going to pick up on the emotions, or they might. It's like I get accused of thinking too loud, and I'm like, I don't think too loud. It's just that you're picking it up. And it's more a case in that respect that when two people are connected, the energy, it's an energetic moment that you can. And there's no space and time with energy. So whether you're thousands of miles away or in the next room, you can still connect to the person that you are having some form of emotional involvement with, whether it be a lover, whether it be a friend, whether it be a husband or wife, or whoever, a mother, father, family member. You can naturally pick up that energy. And it's like when we have the phone ring, we sometimes go, oh my God, it's my brother, and there it is, it's your brother. So there are ways of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And we talked about this many times about, psychic and medium. And Eddie, I love his analogy. What do you always say? You're a...
Well, I've always said I'm a big old stadium-sized psychic and just a little football-sized medium.
But what do you consider yourself, or do you find yourself equally balanced when it comes to psychic or medium?
You know what's interesting is I don't consider myself as anything. I have to put that label on me because obviously people expect that label. But I think I'm equal in both. I tell you what, I love doing my psychic readings. You know why? Because I'm nosy and I like to know what's going on in people's lives. I am so nosy.
Do you have Gemini in your chart?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm a Gemini.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm a Gemini with Scorpio rising. Seriously, you can't get any worse. With an Aquarius moon. Seriously. Yeah. I'm done.
You are. Yeah, the Aquarius moon is your hair right there.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm just like done. But I'm nosy. So I love doing my psychic readings because I get really in depth, and I'm like, oh, let's look at the guy you're dating. Get into it. And then I love the mediumship because there's nothing better than being able to give someone some comfort and hope. Mm-hmm. But quite honestly, and I'm just going to put it out there to your listeners, sometimes we can become so obsessed by the communication with the afterlife that we don't live in the present, mm-hmm. and that we constantly live in the past. And we can't fix the past because it's done. We can't but we have to move on from it. And yet a medium can actually help that connection and that moving on. But some people constantly repeat that cycle. I need a medium. I need a medium. I need a medium. I need a medium.
Yeah.
But you don't. What you actually have to do is now you've had that communication, is realize that your communication, your own communication can happen. And you need to move on from that. Oh, absolutely. Come and see a psychic, by all means, because trust me, even I go and have psychic readings. But I think as a medium, I think it's important. I've digressed from this question. I'm sorry. But I think it's important to realize that mediums have a weight about them. We carry a weight, but it's also a very heavy job to do. The energy is much heavier and denser than a psychic. So I think I'm evenly balanced. I think my psychic skill and my mediumship skill are very, very even. I suppose it depends on which side of the bed I've got out of that day, and which one I enjoy more, that day. So, it just depends. But for me, I think I'm even.
Well, and that's rare, I'm finding, in our little community. You know what I mean? And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Truth Be Told, and you're on air with Tony Sweet. I'm Eddie Connor.
I'm Tony Sweet.
I'm Rachel Lang.
And we have internationally acclaimed psychic, medium, clairvoyant, author, speaker, and world-renowned teacher with us, Lisa Williams.
Yay! And I just wanted to say, and I'm Lisa Williams after all of that. You all went nice.
Thanks for participating.
Lisa, are you absolutely flabbergasted by how mediumship and intuitives on national television has exploded?
I am. And when I was a kid, God, John's going to hate me if I say that, but when I was younger, I used to watch John Edward. John Edward and James Van Praagh, and both of them I know now, which is, I think, looking back when James and John were first, crossing over, and I can't remember what else it was, but with those two shows, I used to watch it every day. And I used to think, if I'm half as good as that person, I'd be awesome. I was like, no way am I going to ever. But then to be classed in that league of those, it was kind of incredible. And I think really with the explosion of my TV show, with the explosion of John and James, and then obviously we've got Ghost Whisperer, we've got Medium, then we have the paranormal investigators, then you've got Jason, and then you've got Teresa Caputo, and you've got everybody else coming out of the woodwork. I think what's happened is it's become more normal, it's become more acceptable in society to a degree. Right. It's still somewhat questionable in people's minds, and I do understand that. But it is becoming more normal. And I think really what with TV shows and radio shows like yours and the media, I think we're making it more acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of more acceptable, now we know that you on April the 17th, I believe it is, you're going to be in Indianapolis for a National Grief Convention, correct?
Tell us about that.
Yes. Oh, my God,
They
yes.
need your light so much in that state, too.
Definitely.
That is going to be quite huge. I mean, going to Indianapolis at this period of time, talking about grief, talking about dead people, doing my work, it's huge. Certainly with obviously what's been going on in the media. I'm very controversial. I don't care. I've had protesters outside of my events, shows, and no, seriously. And I've actually walked out on stage and I've said, just a moment, I've got some people to see. Of course, all my audience members, 1,500 people have seen all these people. So I've actually gone out with my camera guy, and it's all been projected on the TV screen behind me. And I've gone out and actually thanked each and every single one of these protesters for blessing each and every single one of my audience members coming in. Wow. Because as far as I'm concerned, they have their own beliefs, and I appreciate their beliefs. I believe in God. I believe in what they're going, but it's just some people are just so rigid. They just have no flexibility. It's what they know, and I can't blame them for that. It's what they're conditioned with, and so I just go out there, and people are people at the end of the day, and so it was really important for me to honor those. And so I think I'm going to be expecting to have some protesters or some form of, I'm going to get some backlash, and I know I am in Indianapolis, but you know what? I'll just kill them with kindness. That's how I look at it.
That's why we love Lisa.
Yeah, baby. But honestly, that is the best defense mechanism, or the best tool for defense against any kind of negativity is just love and kindness and graciousness.
Which throws them off.
Yeah, it does.
Yes,
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm Lisa Williams, and I'm here to actually personify the correct essence of that which we call God.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, and I always say, and I was only having this conversation earlier. It's like I believe that it's a gift of God. I'm not anyone special. I'm just me. I just do my thing, and I think that's where ego comes into it. Certainly with our work, there's a lot of ego in this world that I have seen and sensed, and that's a shame. But I just do my thing.
One of the things I love about you too, speaking of non-ego, Lisa, is how generous you are with your teaching, and how
Yes.
you really you help anyone develop their own gifts. Can you talk a little bit about some of the courses that you offer, and the ways in which you help to empower your students?
Well, thanks for saying that. I appreciate it, because I am actually a qualified school teacher, high school teacher.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, kids drive me insane. No, I love kids. I love kids. I just can't teach them. I just realize, and I remember when I was actually learning back at college, and to be a teacher, and we were playing, because I was a PE teacher. And she actually said to me, she said, "What do you want to do once you leave college, Lisa?" She says, what are you going to specialize in? You're going to, because I was a gymnast. She's like, "Are you going to specialize in your gymnastics or your outdoor?" Because I taught, my specialities were gymnastics and outdoor education. And I'm like, "No way." I said, "I want to teach teachers how to teach." And you know what? She went, "Wow." And that's exactly what I'm doing now. Yes. Little did I know, when I was, 19 there, I had a bit of a psychic moment. Obviously, you've met Colby, and Colby is a phenomenal teacher. And my teachings are very down to earth. And I now live in Lilydale, which is the home of the spiritualism movement. And, one of the church women there actually said to me, "Your teachings are so different. You cover the philosophies, you cover the main interest, you cover everything that is needed, but you teach so uniquely." And the unique style about it is the fact I'm normal. I don't flower anything up. I give it how it is. I speak honestly, and I think I'm very methodical in my teachings. I break it all down, and there's no point in teaching something that you don't know about. And so, therefore, if someone wants to come and talk to me about, I don't know, needlecraft, I have no idea. But you give me something to break down clairvoyantly, I can break down into bite-sized chunks. And that's because I have a simple mind. And I like to keep things very simple. Like if you read my books, you'll actually read, it's a very, very simple process. My books are so simple that I think it's so important just to break it down into bite-sized chunks. And I think that's why my teachings are so unique. And I will push every student out of their comfort zone.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You had Eddie and I sweating.
Yeah.
Did I have you
Seriously.
sweating? Oh, I'm so sorry.
We were like, and we slept for like 2 days. we were exhausted.
Do you know what? I'm telling you, once I've done a training course like that, it's like I've been hit by a truck.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I can imagine. Yeah, it's a lot of energy.
It was.
Yeah, Eddie about hated me.
About.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what the other thing is I teach intuitively. So when I'm there, I'm actually always connected to spirit. So I will change everything on the, just by, I'll all of a sudden have this like, oh my God moment. And my master teachers, who obviously you saw, and I would do this thing with my hands, and I'll put them into a prayer position and wiggle my fingers and go, almost like a bit Austin Powersy. And they go, "It's the evil genius coming out." And they used to call me the evil genius because I will just change a exercise or something in a heartbeat and go, no, I want to do this. And it's like I'm being channeled the information. And Colby and everyone used to say to me, "Where are you getting these ideas from? Where are you getting these exercises from?" And it was really the case that I was just being given them. It was so interesting.
When you're in the present moment like that, you're going to be downloaded moment by moment by moment by moment. And you're just following the flow. Yeah, I know you. And we saw the evil genius come out a few times with a little bit of the mama bear and a little bit of like, "All right, you."
The mama bear, evil genius. There you go. You got it all wrapped up there.
And you're going to be at the Celebrate Your Life conference in June as well, correct?
Yeah, Celebrate Your Life is very, very important to me. It's like we have got some amazing speakers. We've got Caroline Mace. We've got who is coming? Panache Desai. Oh my gosh, there's some incredible speakers. Colette Barnett. Oh, I love Colette. And I think I don't know whether Denise is doing it this year, and John Holland and I. In fact, John Colette and I are doing the keynote speech on the Friday night. And so it's Celebrate Your Life in Chicago, and it's my birthday weekend.
Oh, is it really?
It's not quite technically my birthday weekend, but I celebrate the whole month of June, so it's going to be my birthday weekend.
That's a good way to do it.
That is great.
Come along, everybody, and come and have some fun.
And you can go to celebrateyourlife.org to register.
Well, and who is it that you have been, let's say, doing a conference with, and you walked in? Who was it that you saw for the first time where you were starstruck or freaked out and wondering, can I match this frequency? Who was the first person that freaked you out? And then you go up there and you rock the house out.
Do you know what? And I'm just going to be honest. I don't think I've ever been in that space where I've looked at someone and said, "You freak me out. I can't be as good as you."
Wow,
because I have always seen myself as an equal to many people.
Good for you.
There have been. I mean, it was
rising.
interesting because Colette, Denise, and I, we do the Divine Wisdom retreats with also Mishka, who produced the Celebrate Your Life. And we had this heart-to-heart over dinner once, and we actually all broke down and we all said, we need these conferences as authors to bring us back with people who we are, to the other authors that we are on a par with as such, because we kind of have those moments where we just need that spiritual fulfillment. And what's interesting is I used to go, "Oh my God, I'm not as good as Colette," or "Oh my God, I'm not as good as Denise." But we all have different strengths.
Yes.
We all have different abilities. We all bring something different to the table. We're all very unique in our own way. And I always saw myself as a newbie the new kid on the block. And yet what was interesting is I never forget James Van Prague. Bless his little cons. Love James. I'm there in Larry King Live. And, James, I'm on the TV show with, what's her name? Oh, my God. Shirley MacLaine. And I didn't know who Shirley MacLaine was. I had no idea.
You're kidding. No, wow.
Oh, yeah. These little English girls are a little bit naive. So, but then I'm sitting there and I'm having this full-blown conversation with Shirley. My new assistant, Caroline, is going, "Oh, my God, do you know who that is?" I'm like, "No." And I carry on. And then James Van Prague runs down the corridor going, "Oh, my God, it's Lisa Williams. Oh, my God." I'm thinking, "Oh, my God, it's James Van Prague. Oh, my God." This moment of like instant gratification for each other, stroking of the ego. But it was so funny because he panicked about being on the show with me. I panicked about being on the show with him. But it was just one of those moments where it happened. And again, Tony Stockwell is one of those. I think Tony was probably the one that I looked at and went, "Oh my God, I'm not going to be as good as him." And we had to share the stage together. And I just about pooed my pants. Seriously, I was like, "Oh my God." And Tony admitted to me before we went on stage, he's like, "Lisa," and he actually said, "Lisa, I hope I don't let you down." And I said, "What?" He said, "I hope I don't let you down." I went, "Tony, I hope I don't let you down." And he's like, "All right, girlfriend, we're fine now. Let's get it out," And he swears like a trooper. So we were just shooting the shit, and drinking afterwards. And it was so cool. It really was. So yeah, you've got to realize that you're actually an equal to everybody.
I love that's such a great story too, and
That
I
is.
love Shirley MacLaine.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we have about 5 minutes left, and in those 5 minutes, I want to talk a little bit about the courses that Eddie and I did take, and for the people out there that are listening in, there's a lot of people that have gone through or going through what you went through, and Eddie went through, and Rachel went through, and even what I went through, because as a spectator going to your class and then actually giving a reading and people going, "Yeah, wow, how'd you get that?" And I was like seriously baffled, like I even could predict or see somebody's grandmother or father. And I want to know what you can give those people some advice on what to do, where to look into themselves to help understand that they're not going crazy, that this is a gift and that they can pursue and grow this gift into something bigger.
I think really it's about understanding that everyone's normal. Everybody is normal. That really what their experience is their part of their normal. And it's in a reality, there's no right or wrong to tell you what is right. No one can tell you what's right or wrong.
Right.
It's really about being present in the moment. It's about being present. And so with my teachings, which I'm going to start doing a lot more online, I'm going to do a lot more video content as well.
Oh,
Great.
So people can, I'm actually launching, I've got this brand new website that I'm launching next month, which will have a lot more online content, which will have a lot more videos. And it will, I'm also training the master teachers, and we're going to be doing online courses, just really so people can, it's so much more accessible. And I'll be teaching yearly now the advanced mediumship course before the season in Lilydale, which is kind of huge, to bring mediumship back home into Lilydale. So I think people have to realize that it's okay if they have a spooky experience, and it's okay to share it with someone, because 9 times out of 10, that other person may have had a spooky experience, or they may also use their own intuition, but don't know what that intuition is. And it's about realizing that you're not going to be judged, and that if you are judged, then really is that person supposed to be in your life?
That's true.
Or the other thing is it's okay to be around skeptics, and it's okay to have a skeptical person in your life as long as they have a belief. I am very fortunate to have a lot of, and I say fortunate, I'm really fortunate to have a lot of skeptics in my life. Charlie, my own son, being one of them. And, he's like, I don't know what to believe, Mum. But it's about really just what I think what it's done is it's taught him that it's okay to be who you are, and it's to be accepted and to honor what you do. And I think that's important for everybody to realize, that you're not the same as everybody else. No one's really normal, because what defines normal?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah.
Plus, normal is boring as hell.
It is.
Oh God, boring's so bad. Normal's so boring. Seriously.
Now, we know that you have a new project coming up. It's a huge project. It's really big. You can't talk about it, but
Well,
what can you talk about?
Yeah. We need. Come on. Don't let us be psychic on you.
I have, I do have my new website, which has been launched, and I am focusing upon relationships and more communication, how to build confidence as a medium in many, many areas. I've also started to write a fiction book, which is, I've loosely nicknamed it 50 Shades of Psychic.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to use that title, obviously, but that's my working title. I like to play with.
It works for now, right?
It really does work for now. So 50 Shades of Psychic. But I'm also writing a new book on soulmates, which I've been threatening to put out for a long time. But I'm now at the point where I'm in that space to write it. So yeah, I've got some TV coming up. Just bits and pieces. So we'll see what happens.
Are you still doing your radio show?
I'm actually going to be relaunching the radio show probably next month again. It's all going to be part of that. So I'm trying to rebrand myself, because I've been Lisa Williams, the medium, for so long. There's a lot more than what I do than just speak to dead people. I do a lot of other stuff as well.
Gosh, I love that.
I know, I do. I love the fiction, that you're writing fiction too. I can't wait to read it. That's going to be so much fun.
50 Shades of Psychic. Trust me, it's cool.
I just feel like there should be some naughty parts in there.
Well, with Lisa, there has to be.
I know,
Come on.
some naughty bits.
It sounds like you're incorporating your Scorpio rising pretty nicely. So that'll be good. That'll be good.
And do you still have your tarot cards? That
they're beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, my oracle cards come out, and that's also one of the courses that I'm putting together, is really how to read the oracle cards and how to work with them. So yeah, I mean, the oracle cards, they are beautiful. Marie Chantal did a phenomenal job with the artwork. So, and I want to release another set of cards. When that's going to happen, I just don't know.
Well, and just on a fun fact side note, Tony Sweet was, I think, the first person to ever get a reading with your oracle cards. I just realized that.
Oh, wow, you were really?
I was.
He was. There was
That's
like
special.
70 people in the room. She's like, who wants a reading?
I'm
He
like, me.
knocked down a pregnant woman and jumped over 30 people. He's like, I'll do it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm first.
Tony, you were so funny. You were like, oh, hold on. Oh, here I am.
And it was spot on.
It was spot on. It was spot
Tony
on.
would just look over at me and John and Jamie like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Lisa Williams just read me.
So Lisa Williams is going to be at the National Grief Convention. That's in Indianapolis on April the 17th. And you can also catch her at the Celebrate Your Life conference in June. That's the 12th through the 15th. That will be in Chicago. And you can get all of this information on her website, which, please tell me this is correct, lisawilliams.com.
Easy enough.
Hey,
That's what it is.
absolutely, nice and easy. And also, I've just announced, well, I haven't just announced it, but top secret, I am coming back on tour in Canada and the US.
Yay!
Oh, that's great.
Are you coming to Los Angeles?
I'm not, but I am going to do something
Just
in LA.
mean.
I mean, you
That
know,
is mean.
I've got to, really. I have. I've got to.
Yeah.
Yes, because I guess
You
we'll
have too
to
many
fly.
people that love you. We'll fly, girl.
We'll just fly and go see
Oh,
her.
you're sweet. I'm actually back in LA tomorrow. I'm only there overnight. I'm doing a charity event for a friend of mine, Kimberly, who needs a kidney, and I'm
Oh, wow.
singing. I'm actually singing at this,
wow.
in Redondo Beach. So that's kind of crazy.
Well, we have a karaoke track, and we're going to hear Lisa Williams sing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just. And John just said hello. But we are going to let you go because we don't want to let you go, but we have to let you go. But we love you, Lisa Williams.
Yes.
LisaWilliams.com. And we want you to come back anytime. You know, Universal Broadcasting loves you, and we hope you come and see us in studio one day.
I will, for sure. I promise you.
Awesome.
All right.
you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Lisa.
Lisa.
We
All
love
right.
Lisa.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, now it's time for the after
party
roundtable, and we're gonna turn up Jody's mic. And since Jody was listening the whole time, we're gonna include Jody into this little roundtable.
I'm sorry.
Well, okay, Eddie. Since this is you and Rachel's master class here, I want you to start us off with this roundtable afterwards.
What the thing I love the most about Lisa is exactly what she is, and that's that she's really humble. And we know lots of people in this movement, lots of people, and there's some world famous people that we know that are more affected than maybe they should be. And
The
that's
ego
me
has
passing
taken
judgment, and I hate to say it that way, but I am. And I find that when Lisa does what she does, she's absolutely coming from love. She loves what she does. She likes that heart connection. And I think that's why people gravitate to her the way that they do. And a lot of people who do what we do they like the performance piece of it more than they like the heart-to-heart connection part of it. And she's a great performer, but she is a connector to the core of her being. That's my favorite thing about Lisa.
I totally agree with you, Eddie, and also she's real.
Yeah.
She doesn't put on any pretenses. I love the fact that she starts her workshops off with dropping the F-bomb.
Yeah.
And then she's got a sense of humor, and that she doesn't take it too serious, because I think that's another thing that happens sometimes. And I find myself, I sometimes can be guilty of this too. Like when you're dealing with people's really big, heavy issues, life and death situations sometimes, health issues, relationship breakups, divorces. It's like serious stuff. And so you can have this sense that there's a heaviness attached to the work. But I think what she does is she keeps it in perspective. And so she keeps she remains relatable, she remains personable, and remains open and flexible too, so that she can kind of move with whatever's happening. And such a teacher. Just a real, I just get the sense that she really wants to help people cultivate their own gifts and empower people.
Yeah, and you can feel it. What'd you think?
Jody? Yeah.
Well, honestly, as somebody who is pretty much on the periphery of all this, I mean, this is all sort of new to me, and I'm taking it all in. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never heard of her before, and was so pleasantly surprised at just what a person she is. She's just so presentable and so kind and funny and laid back. And, I had to giggle when you guys were talking about the hushed tones. And, because, that's what I expected. I expected she's like, hello, it's so good to be here, Tony. And she wasn't like that at all. I love the fact that she drops the F-bomb. I love the fact that she's real. I love the fact that she's English.
Yes.
The accent helps. I
It
don't know
does.
why, but it just does.
It does.
Especially being from the South, we're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, could you just talk for about 20 minutes?
Yeah.
So no, I loved it, and I'm intrigued now, and I'd love to have a reading. I'm like,
Yeah, one thing I love about Lisa is, like you said, it's not just the realness, but it's the way she has grasped her gift and spreading it worldwide, and not really giving a crap what anybody thinks.
Unapologetic.
Yeah, where so many people nowadays everything's politically correct, and they try to not offend this person over here, not offend this person over here, and she's like, hey, I'm me, and if you don't like it, bless you. She doesn't. I love that the fact that she went out and the protesters and blessed them and thanked them. And most people would get angry and call the police or go out the side door and not even want to approach them. But she went out and approached them, because a lot of people wouldn't do that at all.
That's awesome.
I think, to speak to your point, Tony, that our profession, and Eddie, I'm sure you feel the same way. It's hard to kind of come out of the closet and say, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium, I'm an astrologer, especially because of the people who think it's the devil's work, or those perspectives.
Yeah.
And people like Lisa, she makes it so real and so available that it's like anybody. It's something anybody can do. She takes the mystery out of it and makes it more acceptable.
And then helps educate you on understanding that you have been doing it, whether you knew you did it or not.
Exactly.
Therefore,
yes.
she's not special. Take me off the pedestal and let's all sit here together in a circle and sing Kumbaya.
It's just not fair. It's not fair that there's not a whole another hour, because I have like an hour's worth of questions.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And then with her, it's possible to do 2 or 3 hours, because when Eddie and I went to her class,
Oh, my God.
she was amazing, and you could tell that her interaction with her master teachers are just spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, spot on, and they really respect her and love her to death. I mean, they really do. And it rubs off. As we had Colby, I mean, a lot of what Lisa rubs off on these master teachers and just anybody that comes in contact with her.
Can I just say something? When you say master teachers, I immediately think like
Master
master teachers
Right.
in spirit.
Yeah.
But you're actually talking about master teachers, like the people that she trains. I had all of a
Right.
sudden I was like, oh, wait a second, he's not talking about master teachers.
When we were in the workshop and she started talking about the master teachers, I was like, oh,
They're coming down.
yeah, let's bring it. And then here comes these women around the corner. I'm like, oh,
It's women.
yeah.
Well, what's funny, and Eddie can tell this, because where Eddie said our friendship almost ended, because I believe, like I said, I think sometimes more in Eddie than he does himself, because I think he is one of the most talented psychics out there today.
Absolutely.
And when they wanted to talk about mediumship, and his faith in his mediumship was not quite there.
It's shaky.
And I was like, Eddie, go up there. And he looked at me like he was getting ready to cut me.
Okay, let's
Tell the story.
Tell the rest of the story.
Okay, well, I don't remember
So
it.
anytime
How convenient.
because he has
Yeah,
Tony amnesia.
Yeah, how convenient.
Who's
TA.
Tony? Who's Tony?
Yeah. So every time someone would get up front, whether it's a master teacher or a student, he'd be like, start hitting me.
I'm like, go.
And then they were like, who's going to come up next? And nobody would raise their hand. And he was doing that the whole time. Loud. and then
Me?
he'd start nudging. And then he'd look around the corner like, "Rrr." And then I was finally like, dude, you need to stop.
He was ready to cut me.
I was.
He was.
But that didn't stop Tony.
No, because I love him and I believe in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
It was
go up?
supportive.
No.
You didn't?
No. Because it wasn't a psychic workshop. It was a medium workshop.
Oh, I got you.
But I knew
But
once Eddie
you
got
are
there.
so gifted.
But
Oh,
yeah, when he
thank
got
you.
up there, I knew he would his
I would
mediumship.
Yeah.
shut. No.
Yeah.
I would have shut down and shit on myself.
But you did have an opportunity. Didn't you get a read, Lisa?
No, I could have, but I ran away
Oh my God.
with
But
my
you-
Imodium
just-
AD.
Well, I'll say, just as somebody from the outside again, I can tell you're cut from the same cloth that she is. I mean,
Yeah.
you have the same kind of presentable personality, and you're just real and normal. And the fact that you just said you would shit yourself, I
I
think
would
is absolutely
totally.
fantastic. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I could see you being just as relevant.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, you guys. But one of the things they did,
But anyway,
but anyway, anywho, but she grabbed me out of the circle. I was in my little safe circle because I wanted to learn. I am not
That's respectable.
insecure.
Yeah.
I am insecure. I am not ashamed to go to the beginners medium group.
But they put him in the masters.
They
though.
drug me to the masters group.
Not me. They did because they knew. They knew.
They did know, but I wasn't ready for that. I need to tiptoe through the tulips to get up to that next level. And then all of a sudden there's Lisa in front of me throwing something at me going, tell me something, psychic. And I'm like, you have a TV show! And it was so, I can't even talk about it. I get boob sweat, man.
Oh my God!
It is serious. But Tony kept pushing, and I appreciate your belief in me. But when I say stop, I mean stop.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Tony's your guides were talking to Tony.
He was. They were.
And
They said-
Tony didn't
shoulder.
hear my guides.
They
shop.
said nudge him.
No.
Nudge him. That's what they told me.
Then they would also
Tony's
said,
still
you better
medium.
back off, bitch, because he's going to cut somebody.
Well, I knew that, but I was taking my chance.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have to take a
So
break.
scared.
And when we come, I'm not right. When we come back, we're going to have Adam Kokesh. Kokesh. There we go. Kokesh. And we're getting into a little bit conspiracy.
Ooh,
I know. It's going to be very
nice.
interesting. He has a book called Freedom that we're going to be talking about, and I don't think you guys will want to miss this. So don't go anywhere. Truth be told with Tony and
Eddie.
Rachel.
we'll be right back.
And
Oh,
No, Jody, I guess.
we'll be right back.